Hey guys, Taka here from Legion of Chaos, legionofchaos.org. Have a mod spotlight for you guys today for Buildcraft Tools by Maexx. Buildcraft Tools is an add-on to the Buildcraft mod. It uses Buildcraft energy to charge up tools that you craft once, use, and then charge them up again, and they're ready to go again. You don't have to craft them twice. That sounds great to me. It sounds a lot like the old Industrial Craft 2 tools, but this mod has a couple of brand new features that I think you guys are going to enjoy. I'm excited about this one, so let's dive in and see what Buildcraft Tools by Maexx has to offer. First things first, a shout out to Legion of Chaos member Warbrandt, who designed this very nice space for me to do this video in right before I got started filming, so thank you, Warbrandt. Now, the Buildcraft Tools mod by Maexx runs on a 3-tiered system, very easy to see here with the 3 colors, blue, yellow, and red. These are the 3 tool charging stations to which you will bring all of your newly crafted tools, or any of the armor sets, or any of the periphery items to charge them up. Now, the first tier only holds 1,500 Minecraft jewels and can only charge 1 item at a time. The second tier machine takes 3,500 Minecraft jewels and can charge up to 6 items at a time, while the third machine takes 8,000 Minecraft jewels and can charge up to 12 different items at a time. I don't even know if there are 12 individual items to craft, but if you had multiples or if you had friends, you could all share a tool charging station here. Now let's go look at some of the recipes we have going on here. With the Tier 1 tool charger, requires a couple of items from the Buildcraft assembly table, a redstone iron chipset, some iron, some chests, and the small pneumatic motors, which are crafted with iron, a couple of pipes, the golden kinesis pipe and the iron transport pipe, an iron gear, and these brand new high pressure tanks. Now the high pressure tanks is a recipe you're going to want to remember because it's used in all of the pneumatic motor recipes. Now the high pressure tanks are made with a redstone chipset from the assembly table in Buildcraft and 4 pieces of iron. The second tier charger is made from gold. Golden chipset, golden ingots, the enhanced pneumatic motor, which requires gold and golden gears, and those high pressure tanks and the 2 pipes again. The third tier requires diamonds, 2 diamonds, the complex pneumatic motors, the redstone diamond chipset, and the complex motors, of course, requiring 4 diamonds apiece to craft. Now, this 3-tier system is permeated throughout a lot of the items in the mod, including the armor sets. One of the main differences between the 3 tiers is that Tier 1 requires a lot of iron components, Tier 2 requires a lot of gold components, and Tier 3 requires a lot of diamond components. And I think that adds a very smooth and linear progression through the tiers. Now, one of the new items that is heavily used for a lot of the items we're going to see moving up is the Energized ingot. The Energized ingot is made in the assembly table using 3,000 Minecraft jewels. It turns a golden ingot into one of the Energized ingots. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's grab some gold, come on over to our assembly table here, and throw them in. And let's craft up some Energized ingots. Here they come. Lasers are pew-pewing away. Yep, here we go. And we're going to have our Energized ingots coming out over here. Now, it takes 4 Energized ingots to create the Energized plate. Where is it? There it is, to create the Energized plate. And as you can see, it's used in a lot of the other basic crafting recipes for the armor, but we'll get into that. This Energized plate is the thing that we're going to want to look at right now. 4 Energized ingots for the Energized plate. Let's take a look at some of the things that we can create in terms of tools. Now, one of the more useful things to tote around is the very handy tool pack. The tool pack is a place for you to hold all of your items. If I open up the inventory on the tool pack, for example, you see it can hold 6 individual items with 2 more additional slots for an item to take Minecraft jewels from and an item to put Minecraft jewels into. You can actually transfer power between your tools using the tool pack. Now, the recipe for the tool pack involves some wool and 3 of those Energized plates and the Tier 2 tool charger, which again I think is great because that means you have to have that progression up to the golden tier to be able to use the better stuff. Now, be careful, there's a warning from the author, do not put the tool pack into its own inventory or it will in fact vanish. But I actually did find that if you craft a second tool pack and open it up, the first tool pack will be sitting in the second one's inventory. I don't know how reliable that is, so kids, don't try this at home with anything not creative mode. Now, some of the tools that we have available in this mod include the pneumatic jackhammer and its upgrade, the industrial jackhammer, the chainsaw, the igniter, the powered shears, and the powered hoe. All of them are fairly self-explanatory, but let's go ahead and pull all of them out to see what they can do. Some of these actually come with multiple modes. Let's go ahead and step outside to see what some of those modes are. Let's go this way. For example, the pneumatic jackhammer does not have any specialized modes, but the industrial jackhammer does, and by holding down Shift or Sneak and right-click, we can change the mode to 3x1, 3x3, or the 3x3 locked mode, and also back to the 1x1. In 1x1 mode, it cuts in a fashion that you would normally see. And instead of using tool durability, it actually uses charge. See, we only have 1966 out of 2,000 Minecraft joules available. Now if we change modes to the 3x1, it will cut out a 3-column, see, of the item that you want. Now this will not cut multiple items. For example, if I were to cut here, it would leave the stone and only move the dirt. However, if I cut here, it will take only the stone and not any dirt underneath. That's the way it works. And remember that the block that you are targeting is the center of the pattern. So if you come up to this and you try to dig and you say, why did it only remove 2? Well, that's because the third block would actually have been above here, like over here on this end. And that block was not available, so it was not cut down. So we'll only cut the type that you have targeted, and it will do it in the pattern centering on where your crosshair is. Now, the regular pneumatic jackhammer will only mine items up through iron level, so it works just like an iron pickaxe. It will also dig through anything like sand or dirt or gravel. However, you cannot, for example, mine obsidian with the regular pneumatic jackhammer. You must upgrade to the industrial jackhammer to do something like that. So let's go ahead and let's look at a couple of the recipes for these particular tools. The chainsaw is 5 pieces of iron with a redstone golden chipset from the Buildcraft assembly table and an enhanced pneumatic motor. You may recall that is the second gold tier of pneumatic motor. Now, the plain pneumatic jackhammer has the recipe of 2 iron ingots, 2 of the redstone iron chipsets, and a small tier 1 pneumatic motor. The igniter uses a flint and steel, naturally, because that's what it does, iron ingot and the tier 1 motor. The shears take shears, of course, an iron ingot and the tier 1 pneumatic motor. And the powered hoe takes an iron hoe, an iron ingot, and also the tier 1 motor. Now, if you want to upgrade to the industrial jackhammer, you want to either take a regular pneumatic jackhammer and surround it by 3 diamonds and a redstone diamond chipset, or you can craft it from scratch using the complex tier 3 pneumatic motor, 2 redstone diamond chipsets, and 2 diamonds. Either way will get you the same item, but if you already have a pneumatic jackhammer, might as well just upgrade with the fewer diamonds being used up. Now, the powered hoe also has a couple of settings. For example, you have it in 1x1 mode, 3x3 mode, or a very handy until mode. Now, you can accomplish the same result, of course, by jumping and smacking onto the tilled earth, but I think it's a little bit more prudent to use the untill. So in 1x1, it will till 1 block of dirt, and in 3x3 mode, it will actually till a 9 block square. Now, you can then untill them all by either not having water, like I haven't, or like this. Oh, we are out of power, which leads me to my next thing to show you guys. The charging stations. Now, not only do they hold more items and or more charge, but they also charge items more quickly. Let's go ahead and grab a couple of uncharged items and put our fairly charged items back in, right? And now let's go over to the charging stations. The tier 1 charging station, let's go ahead and take our hoe. You'll notice that it charges fairly quickly because there's only 249 here. That was a very poor example. This one takes 2,000 Minecraft joules. Go ahead and throw it in. You see, it's about 1,000 every 3 or 4 seconds. Now if we move on to the, move on to the next tier of tool, take the vacuum cleaner, which takes 16,000 Minecraft joules. If I were to pop it in, you will notice that it starts charging much faster, only about 2.5 seconds per 1,000. And if we move all the way over to the tier 3 machine with our chainsaw, we pop it in. Oh wow, that actually went really, really quickly. Let's look at the vacuum cleaner here. It's going up about 1,000 a second. So that's pretty excellent. Now you may be wondering, how are we powering all of these things? Well, there are some new power systems that have been added. Well, one new power system to the Buildcraft Tools mod, and I have it downstairs. It's called the Kinetic engine. The Kinetic engine uses water wheels that are placed into flowing water to generate power, which is then being taken out up to our charging stations and over to our other machine we'll look at momentarily via the Buildcraft kinesis pipes. Now these, when you open up their interface, they take a water wheel, and the water wheels come in 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. Now the Kinetic engine has a recipe requiring a combustion engine from Buildcraft, 2 diamond gears, 3 iron, and a block of quartz. So you need to be able to have gone to the nether in order to get the Kinetic engines going. Otherwise you're going to have to use lower tier Buildcraft engines. But once you've got it, you can start using the water wheels. The small water wheel is fairly simple to make: wood, iron, and an iron gear. The big water wheel requires 4 of those energized plates, 4 gold ingots, and a golden gear. And any guesses? Yep, the huge water wheel requires diamonds, hardened energized plates, and a diamond gear. Now these hardened energized plates are a diamond infused with the energized plates in the assembly table using 5,000 Minecraft joules. So you're gonna have to put both of them in the assembly table in order to get those hardened plates. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get one right now. Let's get these. Let's go ahead and craft these together. Yep, there we go. And now, in you both go. Doop, doop. Boom, hardened plate. And here it comes. And once it's done, we will have one of those hardened plates. Welcome to the official Legion of Chaos firing range, as you can see here, also courtesy of Warbrant. Well done. Right over here, we have all of our whammo. The pneumatic gun is able to hold a charge and then be loaded with various types of ammunition. Now, each one of them does something different. For example, the metal nail is your basic projectile. That's a very small amount of damage on the entity. Now, a percussive nail explodes on contact. The fiery nail sets them on fire. The rusty nail, which can only be acquired through dungeon chests, poisons entities. The heavy nail uses a rusty nail and is upgraded to do a huge amount of damage on entities. And finally, the ender nail, which only hits endermen but damages them severely. Ooh, I don't know. Let's take some percussive, some fiery, rusty, it poisons them. Let's take some heavy, and then finally some ender nails. Beautiful. To load the gun, pull the gun up on your hotbar, and then sneak right click, and you will bring up the interface. Now the gun can only use 3 types of ammunition at a time. So let's start with percussive, fiery, and heavy. Lovely. Now the one at the top is the one that's going to be active. So this one's going to be the percussive nail. You will, of course, use up charge to do this. Now let's move on to the next kind of nail. Let's swap for the fiery nail. Very nice. Come here, cows. Now the beautiful thing about this is, because they are on fire, when they drop meat, it will in fact be cooked. So we can see the cooked meat right there? Lovely. Let's switch to the next type of ammunition, the heavy nail. The heavy nail does even more damage to entities. Oh, chickens, you think you can escape? No, you can't. One-shotted. Let's come right over here. Let's get a pig. Oh, very nice. Excellent. Let's switch back to our fiery. Let's get some bacon. He did. And we got some cooked pork chops. Excellent. Now, moving on, we were nice enough to give our mob spawning area a nice little overhang so they didn't burst into flames. Don't go looking at my first review of this that I did some months back, where I made a slight mistake when spawning mobs. But that's okay, we have a couple of spawn eggs here. This will be fun, right? Let's start with a creeper. Who designed this thing? Okay. Start with a creeper. Hello, creeper. So what kind of ammunition shall we use? Oh, we can use the fire nail, that's fine. Now, it also does some initial damage when you hit them, so you can actually accelerate the damage done by hitting them repeatedly with a fire nail. The percussive nail is a lot of fun, too. Now, bear in mind, the percussive nail only works if it actually hits a target. For example, shooting the wall, it will not explode. Personal taste, I suppose. Come here, spiders. You want some of this? Very nice. And finally, our heavy nail. Let's spawn a skeleton, I think. Wonderful. Spawn a skeleton. Let's hit him with the heavy nail. Ready? You can run... Oh my. That actually does quite a lot of damage. It's also quite an expensive recipe, as we'll see in a minute. And finally, let's look at a Enderman. I have an Enderman, right? Perfect. Come here, Enderman. Oh, let's go ahead and reload our gun first with the Ender Nails. Now, the Ender Nails do excessive damage to only Endermen. So come here, buddy. Ready? Got some of this? 2 shots. That's all it takes to take down an Enderman. Now, if we were to use, for example, the heavy nails... Let's see here. Come here, Enderman. Well, that's a problem. Oh. Can't actually hit him with it. Okay, well, never mind then. If anybody sees an Enderman later in the video, it's not my fault. I had nothing to do with it. Let's put the gun away now, shall we? Yes, I think we shall. And let's go ahead and let's look at how to make some of these wonderful nails. I'll see you back over in the main house. Welcome back to the main house. Let's talk about how to get some of that great whammo for the pneumatic gun. Now, each of the nails needs to be crafted in the heat press, another machine available here in Buildcraft Tools. Now, as it's building up its charge, let's go ahead and look at the possible presses. These are the 3 presses currently in the game: the nail form, the ore form, and the spring form. Let's start with the one that's clearly the most fun, the nail form. You place your nail in here. You grab some iron, and all it takes is voila, and you get 9 metal nails. Now, how do you get this form here? That's actually the depressing news. The recipe for the nail form requires a heavy nail and a block of iron. Okay, how bad could that possibly be? The recipe for the heavy nail requires 4 diamonds and a rusty nail, which you may recall can only be found in dungeon chests. Why, Maexx? Why? All the fun sucked out. Not at all. If you get this find in either a dungeon or a temple chest, you are going to be on cloud 9. That means you get access to the pneumatic gun and all of the fun ammunition. But each of the nails are slightly different. For example, the metal nail is the nail form in iron. The percussive nail throws in some gunpowder with the iron. The fiery nail, blaze rods. The rusty nail you cannot get. The heavy nail is from the rusty nail. And finally, the ender nail, an ender pearl, piece of gold, and 2 iron ingots to get 9 of the ender nails. So that's how you get all of those, but what are these other forms that we have available? Now, the ore form is very interesting because we can take some charcoal that I happen to have here, put 4 of them into the heat press, and we get a regular piece of coal. Now, there's one other really cool feature that I cannot show you because I do not have enough energy to do this, but I will show you the recipe because it is true. There's a new way to get diamonds. Come here, diamond. Smelting, yes, yes, yes. The heat press recipe, if you take 64 coal and you have, oh, I don't know, 2 million Minecraft jewels on hand, you can actually press through the ore form to make diamonds. Not the most achievable goal in the world, but if you have a power system able to support 2 million Minecraft jewels, why not turn some of your coal into diamonds? But then again, if you have that much power, you're probably powering multiple quarries, so you'd be finding lots of diamonds anyway. But why not? The option is there. It's sort of similar to the IC2 mass fabricator that you can ultimately try to get diamonds through it with that UU matter. You can now do it in Buildcraft through the heat press. Very, very nice. The last thing we can make in the heat press is springs. Now, springs are very interesting because they are used in some of the tiered armor that we're going to look at next. Let's check that out. So, anybody want to hazard a guess at how many tiers of armor there is in this mod? Huh? Well, if you said 2, you're wrong. There are actually 3. The Tier 1 mechatronic armor, the Tier 2 mechatronic armor, and the Tier 3 mechatronic armor. Now, each tier requires its own respective kind of motor, of course, but there are a few other things involved. For example, Tier 1 requires all of these energized ingots in the familiar patterns to craft regular Minecraft armor, just adding in the Tier 1 motor. The Tier 2 requires the Tier 1 piece to be ready to go, 2 of the energized plates, and 2 of these new things called syringes. Now you will see why the syringes are there momentarily. They're just made with some glass panes and some iron. They also require the Tier 2 armor module, which, oh look, it requires the enhanced pneumatic motor, some energized plates, and some redstone golden chipsets. We didn't see that coming, but take a look here. It also requires a spring from our heated press. Very nice. The Tier 3 requires the Tier 2 armor, 2 more syringes, and the Tier 3 upgrade along with hardened energized plates. Now the Tier 3 upgrade, oh look, diamond chipsets, yes, complex pneumatic motor, 2 springs, and this is required for each one of the items to upgrade it to the next tier. So the Tier 2 armor requires the Tier 1 armor first, and the Tier 3 armor requires Tier 2 first, and adds each of the next tier of motor, plus a couple of other things to upgrade it. Now, the syringes, why would you want syringes? Let's go ahead and grab the Tier 3 armor and put it on. If you sneak and press the letter F, which is the default key to activate the armor, it brings up an interesting interface with 3 available slots next to each piece. Syringes, slots, what are we going to be injecting? Potions! Yes, it's actually a very novel approach to adding stat buffs to armor and status effects. You can actually choose which ones you want to go on your armor. For example, if I were to sneak F, let's say on the headpiece I wanted some regeneration and swiftness and strength, and then we can get some night vision down here, fire resistance, what else we got? Lots of swiftness, lots and lots of swiftness. Anyway, for academic purposes, we'll keep it down to just these 5. And then, now that I have all those slotted in, when I press F, it will activate the armor, and I will have all the status effects that I just added. Now, there are a lot more to choose from, all of the potions, obviously, but you can actually get a lot more use out of them than you would just using the regular potion. For example, swiftness and regen normally last for, regen's what, like 2 minutes? Swiftness can be up to 8. I think they last up to 3 times as long if you put them in the armor. So you can actually get 24 active minutes of the 8-minute potions. Now, if you press F again, it deactivates all the status effects, and you can actually save those potions for later. For example, we can see the night vision. I'm not gonna make it. Yes, I am. See the night vision underwater? Oh, so much nicer than doing it without that on. Let's turn it off. Anyway, so that's very, very nice, and I actually think that's a great way to add status buffs to armor. You can actually sort of mix and match your own in 3 slots per piece. In the highest tier. The second tier only has 2 slots per piece, and I believe the lowest tier has none. So it's great to get up to the 3rd tier, craft a bunch of potions, brew a bunch of potions, excuse me, and then pop them in there. I'm gonna head back up to the house and show you just a few more things, a few more surprises this mod has to offer. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, after all of that, what else could there possibly be in this mod? It has so much already. Why, utility tools, of course, that are also chargeable, like the vacuum cleaner, to pick up that mess that your players on the server have left behind. The potato gun, yes, it shoots spuds, makes a wonderful sound effect too. The spawner wrench that can pick up and put back down mob spawning cages. The compressed air provider, when you have it in your hotbar and you select one of your items that needs charge, it will use its own Minecraft Joule energy and transfer it over to the tool you have selected. And finally, the EMP orb. One big detonation, one big explosion. I want you guys to experience that for yourselves. Go download this mod immediately. The Buildcraft Tools mod by Maexx. Wanted to leave a little mystery for you guys to check out. Once again, I am Taka from Legion of Chaos. Had a lot of fun making this. Go get the Buildcraft Tools mod by Maexx, and I'll see you guys in game. See you later.